you go. One question I get asked all the time on my streams is how do you level up so fast in Phasmophobia?
Welcome back.
And
I've got some jobs ready for you.
Level 0 to level 100 twice, meaning I prestige twice in about the course of like 2 weeks. So I got a lot of questions. How are you leveling up so quick?
I can only get at level
Tier
50.
3 so fast after prestiging. And today I'm going to reveal my secrets. How to go from level 0 to level 100 as fast as possible. Now, before I get into this, you must understand that in order to do what I'm about to do, you must have really good game knowledge. Like, you need to understand visually what they look like in terms of blinks. Some ghosts look different blinks to others. You need to understand the sounds of ghosts in terms of how loud they are or not how loud they are. You need to understand the different speeds of the ghosts and how line of sight works with them. These are all things you must know first. So definitely go watch
I'm only level 21.
Watch my Ghost Guide. That's a great way to learn. Also, just play loads of Nightmare Insanity and No Evidence if you can beforehand, and you will slowly learn these tiny nuances to make this process far quicker. Basically, the better you are understanding the game, the faster you're going to level up. So we're going to be doing this on Ritual Court. The reason being is when you walk into Ritual Court and you're 0 sanity, obviously the ghost will insta-hunt you, and when you've got the table there, you can instantly start looping around the table. So being good at looping is also quite important for this. It's not essential, but it's definitely very helpful to be good at looping. I have a looping guide as well if you don't really understand how to loop the ghost from Ritual. So yeah, the reason I use Ritual is because the looping spot is in the middle of the house, so the ghost is likely to find you quite fast, and therefore you have loads of time during a hunt to assess the ghost, assess the blink speed, etc. And then you can come to a decision quicker. Now let's get into the juice. Custom settings. So as you can see, I'm using difficulty custom. I'm going to show you all my settings, and you can screenshot them or whatever you want to do and use them yourself if you fancy. So I'm on a 10.25x custom. It's a huge reward. In fact, it's actually 8.2 technically because it's high enough difficulty for that. I use 10.25x rewards. This is great. You have the breaker on at the beginning, your normal speeds, the ghost's normal speeds. Other than that, everything's kind of set to max difficulty. Obviously, you start at 0 sanity. That means you get instant hunt, so you can potentially instantly work out what the ghost is. And then, of course, here's my ghost settings as well. Ghost is normal speed, event frequency is high, so hopefully you get like a singing event, like a All Out of Shade or something. Obviously, there's no grace period, that's set to 0, that makes a big difference to the multiplier. Obviously, no evidence as well. And then here are my contract settings, and I do have the breaker on at the beginning of the contract. That means I can instantly turn on the lights, and I get more of an opportunity to look at the ghost and assess it better. So now I've given you all my settings. We've got Ritual Court. This is the other thing I wanted to quickly show you, my equipment that I bring in. So this is what I bring in. Obviously, you have to bring in the base equipment on every game. Then I obviously bring in some crucifixes. Now I would actually bring in tier 3s potentially, but because I'm still getting some items back, I'm using tier 2. Other than that, everything else is exactly what I pretty much would use. I prefer tier 2 instances. I prefer tier 2 salt personally. And then I bring in a photo camera and a sound recorder just in case I get a blood moon and I want to fancy going for like a perfect run or something. But yeah, that's basically all the equipment I use, so feel free to copy that. So obviously if it's 3 dots, that's tier 3, if it's 2, it's tier 2, and if it's 1 solid diamond, then it's tier 1. Obviously I don't have any tier 1 items. And yes, without further ado, we're going to run some games, and I'm going to show you how I do this really, really fast. Okay, I'm going to warn you, I will be going through ghosts really, really fast, and either instantly knowing what they are, or ruling out ghosts really fast, so I will say, this might be hard to keep up with, but feel free to pause whenever you need to. And again, I have a ghost guide if you want to know more about how every single ghost works. Let's go. Okay, so we've loaded into Ritual Courts. I'm going to grab with me, of course, the key and open the door. That's the first thing I'll do. So the first thing I grab is my tier 2 headgear. The reason being is, one, it takes up no inventory slots, so obviously you hold your torch button down in order to turn it on and off. 1 solid diamond, then it's tier 1. Obviously I don't have any tier 1 items. And yes, without further ado, we're going to run some games. I'm going to show you how I do this really, really fast. Okay, I'm going to warn you, I will be going through ghosts really, really fast, and either instantly knowing what they are,
bringing out ghosts pretty fast, so I will say this might be hard to keep up with, but feel free to pause whenever you need to. And again, I have a ghost guide if you want to know more about how every single ghost works. Let's go. Okay, so we've loaded into Richmond Courts. I'm going to grab a mini, of course, key and open the door. That's the first thing I'll do. So the first thing I grab is my tier 2 headgear. The reason being is, one, it takes up no inventory slot, so you might as well have an extra torch at hand. Obviously, you hold your torch button down in order to turn it on and off by default. This also means that you can test for a Reiju as well. When you've got a head torch on, the Reiju will be faster, because when you've got it on, as in actually switched on, not just on your head. If you've got it switched on, the ghost will be faster and will be able to sense you. When you've got it off, it won't. Next, I will take a lighter, of course, that takes up an inventory slot. Might as well take that. So right now, we've taken basically nothing in. Now, I will grab myself a cruci and place it down straight away. I don't want to get, obviously we're on zero grace period, so I don't want to get instantly spawned on and instantly die and then waste the money I've spent to bring these items in. So I bring in crucifix for that. I'll then bring in salt, which means we can test for rain. So if you place salt down and the ghost steps over the salt and it doesn't actually get stepped in, then that signifies that it must be a rain. And then finally, I'll take an incense because we're going to do a spirit test and a demon test. The spirit test is you smudge the ghost, it can't then re-hunt you for 3 minutes. And then a demon test is the same thing, but a sweet demon could technically hunt you under a minute and 30 seconds, whereas all other ghosts have to hunt after a minute and 30 seconds. But again, that isn't a guaranteed. That's if it chooses to use its ability, which it tends to, I'd say, about 60% of the time. So we're going to head in now. I also want to say that as soon as you open that door, in the first minutes, you actually can't get mimicked. That kind of rhymed. So mimics, when you play a game of Phasmophobia, they actually can't mimic another ghost for a minute until a minute after you've opened the front door. So if we get an instant hunt and it's a very obvious ghost in a hunt, like a Dio or something, then you can actually not have to worry about mimic going checking orbs. You're actually good to just go straight away. It will not be a mimic. I think they did this for speedrunners, so that they can have a chance of just getting ghost right and getting out as fast as possible. But anyway, without further ado, let's into the house. First thing I'm going to do is place the crucifix down, place salt down, round the table, after I turn on the lights, of course. Let's go. So instantly turn the lights on, get the salt down in the room. Crucifix is covering me in this room. Now we wait for a hunt. Obviously, I'm going to be looking out for blinks, especially line of sight build up, ghost speed, everything, as well as how loud the ghost is, because obviously Marlings are quieter. And I will go through every single ghost that I rule out for you, or if we get the ghost straight away, I'll tell you why. Speeds. Know what the ghost is. Love to see some guesses, but it's a phantom. Look at the ghost. As you can see, you can barely see it. It's once every like 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Barely see it. So we've actually already got the ghost we can see straight away on the 10.25x. Just like that. It's done. Now, I would actually recommend incensing the ghost in that situation, because I actually did have an objective that was incense the ghost, so you might as well incense it. If you don't want to bother looking at the objective, you don't have to. But I would actually incense the ghost, but that's what I did. So there you go. It was a phantom. We know for sure it hunted it super fast, so it won't be a mimic. And let's see, it's a phantom. And there you go. Honestly, if a ghost is very obvious like that, I would just pick the ghost and go, because the chances of it being a mimic are very, very low if it did hunt after a minute. Just go with it, because it's very unlikely. Like, think about the amount of times that's actually going to happen to you when you're doing speedruns. A very small amount. And there you go. $2,250. Just like that, done. And this is where, of course, you do need game knowledge. You need to understand hunts. Obviously, I had loads of hours in the game, so I understand how ghosts work in hunts. We'll do another one, though, as well, and see if we get to in a row real quick. So we're on the same difficulty. We've got our items. Let's go. Okay, one more game to see if we can get a very, very quick speed run again. Obviously, if you, by the way, I forgot to mention, if you get one of the really, really bad ghosts that are really hard to identify, like a Mare, a Yuri, a Goryo, You know, one of the really, really annoying ones. Then sometimes it's best to just guess and go. Otherwise, you're just wasting loads of time. I like to give it like 2 to 3 hunts if I'm not really sure, and then do little mini tests here and there. See if any lights get turned on, so I can call out there. See if it does a Yuri door slam or something. Maybe you get, I don't know, like an Oreo. If you place a firelight in and it blows out the firelight and you relight it, and then it blows out again within 20 seconds, you can, you know, it's an Oreo. Or if it lights any candles, you can also rule out an Oreo, because Oreos cannot like, well, so I'm going to grab my headgear, the loadout I took last time, and go head straight in and do the exact same thing. Hopefully this goes as obvious straight away, but if not, there are tests we can do, and I can show the second hunt and how that would work. So we're in, getting Cruci down, getting Salt down straight away, covered, the lights are on. Let's see, I'd like to stand about here because it means you can react to the front of the basement or the upstairs. It's quite loud upstairs, so it's highly.
It'd be
Okay. Let's incense it. Line of sight put up, like normal ghosts. It also had normal blinks, but it definitely didn't have phantom blinks like last time. It was a lot more easy to see. Unfortunately, guys, obviously it's calling, so it's really hard to spot. But that's just sort of mining has been way too loud upstairs. We can hear it like stomping upstairs. You couldn't hear that with mining. It'd be very faint, if anything. We are going to put down a firelight. Just oh my word, it teleported the teddy. It means I know what room it's in. At least it's the room right above me. That's where that teddy comes from. That is really creepy. Okay, so we can call out a lot of ghosts. We can call out a wraith as well. It's set to salt. So that's what the salt was for. I'm actually going to stand over here. Place the firelight down, so we're going to see if it can be a shade. It's about the firelight for like 1 or 2 punts whilst it's running around that spot. It's not going to be a shade. Shades do not go out firelights in the same room as you. Not phantom, not remnants. Remnant moved really, really fast when it came out after it saw me downstairs. Can't be a Fae or a Hantu. Oh dear, I've stopped tracking the ball now. Faes and Hantus don't have gradual speed increase, they're just on set speed. Obviously, Hantus are fast in the cold and slow and warm, so I had to be very slow downstairs because the break is on. Not
Yes!
Welcome back. I've got some jobs
Your luck. My bad.